swore up and down last week I wouldn't do this, but we actually saw Birds of Prey, yada yada, Harley Quinn yesterday, which was Saturday the 8th. Today is, we record this Sunday the 9th.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and let you do the movie reviews more than I do. You give your opinion first. Go ahead and put it out there.
Alright, so, have you ever had one of those nights, like you go out and hang with friends or whatever, you go to the nightclub, party, drink a lot, do things that the Bible says don't do, maybe smoke something that you shouldn't, pop a pill that you shouldn't, go home with somebody you shouldn't, and you wake up the next day thinking to yourself, I made a mistake, or maybe I just lived, but yet you got a hangover that hurts, and it was just one of those wild nights. That's Birds of Prey. Right there. I mean, that's what it felt like to me. It was like going to a nightclub. I've never been to a nightclub, but I can imagine that's what it feels like. It's like a lot of flashy colors, a lot of loudness, a lot of good time, bad time, regrets hitting you all at once. That's Birds of Prey. I loved the movie. I loved it. Was it perfect? Was it excellent? If you're a huge Birds of Prey fan,
and there's like 100 of you from coast to coast,
yeah, you may hate this movie, but if you don't know nothing about Birds of Prey, then you went into it perfectly. I actually was shocked. I don't know if you heard, but the girl behind us was actually talking to her friends saying, well, it was like, you know, she was like describing what the movie was and the comic book was, and I was just like, this girl knows what she's talking about, you know. But all in all, the cast, the characters, all of them, they played it pretty good. Harley Quinn gets Harley Quinn. I mean, if you don't know who Harley Quinn is, or how she acts, or the way she is, but she's perfect. Margot Robbie, awesome job. I even love the hyena that is actually from the cartoons.
Brucey.
Yeah, Brucey.
Brucey the hyena.
Named after that hunky wing guy.
Which is about the closest Batman gets to an appearance in this movie, incidentally.
Yeah, there's no Batman, there's no Joker. And of course, you know, this is basically a breakup story, but she's with her gal pals. So it's like, yay. But I did like the movie. It was pretty fun for what it was. It was fun.
It's one of those popcorn movies.
Yeah.
I would consider this one of the first big popcorn movies of the year. This is one of those where you get sick on popcorn and soda and just enjoy yourself.
Okay.
This is... Now, I'm going to do two tacks here. I'm going to give a review, and then I'm going to say something, speak something on this. First off, I'm going to speak something. There's been a backlash to this film among the Comicsgate guys. Okay. I'm talking about guys like Ethan Van Sciver. I know there's about 2 or 3 others. I couldn't even tell you their names right now because they matter so little to me. These are the Comicsgate guys who just, if they see women leads, they think it's a woke film. And they have gotten to the point where they're just knee-jerk rejected.
Mm-hmm.
This film is in no way, shape, or form woke. It ain't. In fact, I think you could actually argue this is somewhat of a response to woke politics because Harley Quinn is a nihilist. Okay? N-I-H-I-L-I-S-T. Look it up. And she's out for herself for the most part because she's a villainess. So that's what villains do. They're out for themselves. Yeah. Although, spoiler alert, she does become a little more goody-goody at the end. Sort of, kind of. She redeemed a diamond anyway. But anyway, this is by no stretch of the imagination the comic book Birds of Prey. DC's rebooted the book a couple of times, but there's more woke stuff in the comic book than there is in the movie. You got to understand something. Just because women have significant roles or leading roles in a movie does not make it woke. For woke, compare and contrast Birds of Prey with Captain Marvel. Okay, that's your woke film. And she's actually, Captain Marvel is more of a Mary Sue than anything else.
The last Charlie's Angels remake.
That's textbook woke, because that's where you just gave up actually trying to tell a story and you're trying to make a point. And that's just not kosher.
Yeah.
That's stupid, as a matter of fact. But anyway, there are no Mary Sues in sight in this film. I don't think woke describes it. This is one of those, like I said, a popcorn munching roller coaster. This is one of those action films. The plot, there is a plot there. Don't be overly concerned about it. I don't really know what to say about this thing. It was better than Suicide Squad, which actually, actually it shares an awful lot with Suicide Squad as far as an incohesive plot, really fast-paced film work, spectacular stunts, quote unquote, and all this other stuff. They're showing off. It's a spot monkey film, as they would say in wrestling. As far as storytelling content, I'm not overly impressed. But quite frankly, I think I told you yesterday as we were coming out of the theater, my expectations for this movie were somewhere under my shoe. So wasn't expecting much, so I was pleasantly surprised there was actually a little bit of substance in there. Yeah. Not your typical DC film. The reason, and I'll tell you right now, the reason it's R-rated is because they drop the F-bomb a lot.
Yes.
I don't know what it is with Harley Quinn. The TV, the animated series that they do on DC Universe does exactly the same thing.
She's kind of from the Bronx, yes. I guess. So, and they always have that.
I don't care if she's
attitude.
There's Bronx, and then there's our Bronxious. Okay, so it's just stop being obnoxious, Bronx, and for me, I'm still using the little, I'll just call it the 4-star system, where count from 0 to 4. 4 stars being pay full price on a Saturday night, and 0 being don't even bother watching it on broadcast television. I would probably give this a 2, where it would be something, yeah, you might rent the DVD out of a Redbox, or if it turns up on streaming somewhere, yeah, watch it then. A streaming service you would pay for. So I would give it like a 2 stars out of 4. It's worth paying for, but it's not worth full price by any stretch of the imagination.
What was a 3?
A 3 is where you would watch the matinee. That's where you pay the discount rate.
I would say 3.
You give it a 3?
I would give it a 3. I mean, like you said, like it like there is a plot, but it takes maybe like 30 minutes to actually get to that plot because it's like it's going one way and you're stuck that way, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, so this is where the story actually begins with what's actually supposed to be happening. You know, it's like it tells the story kind of backwards and forwards and sideways, and you got to keep track of it. But it's
part of the problem is that this was, you can't decide, is it a Birds of Prey movie or a Harley Quinn movie. Turns out it was a Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
Now we were also talking off air. We were talking about Birds of Prey has been in developmental hell for years now. It's one of those DC projects that never got off the floor. And Harley Quinn was one they were wanting to do something with, but they don't think the character's strong enough to carry her own film. So hey, let's get Birds of Prey done with Harley Quinn. That's why she's not, it's Birds of Prey and yada yada Harley Quinn, whatever. I don't care what the rest of it was. But So it's kind of almost like a crossover more than anything. But
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know nothing about Birds of Prey,
you're not going to learn anything from here.
going in this movie, you're literally fresh and new, and that's what you're going to take from Birds of Prey. You're not going to. It's not really missing much, really.
This one has. It gets the standard Hollywood comic book treatment. This is where they take the names of the characters, they take the ethnicities and the basic concept, and then do their own thing with it. Renee Montoya is indeed a detective on the Gotham City Police Department. She's theoretically in charge of the Birds of Prey in the last 10 minutes of the movie or so. I think who else is there. Black Canary is there. She's gotten a race lift on it, although honestly the Black Canary name now fits actually a little better because she does have a singing voice, and now she's black, not white like in the comic books. Let's see, who's the other one? Is Huntress
and Cassandra King.
Huntress is probably the closest to her comic book self. No, she has a crossbow. She is Helena Bertinelli. But she doesn't get the skin tight outfit with the little mask and everything to the very bitter end, and it's nothing like the comic book. Cassandra Cain is now a teenage, roughly 14 maybe, Asian chick, which, yeah, puts her about the age of where she first turned up as the new Batgirl after the first Birds of Prey started.
Okay.
Cassandra Cain, I swear this is such a wasted opportunity. In this movie, Cassandra Cain is irritating as hell, okay? Because she's a pickpocket, she's a thief, and she's 14-year-old girl. So 14-year-old girls are annoying as sorry. But in her original, and she has been blown clear out of the water. Her original thing, she was mute. She was completely non-communicative as far as language. She couldn't write, she couldn't speak, but she was trained, and she was a trained assassin, one of the best in the world, and she could actually read body language. That's how she communicated, was through body language. So anybody who would fight her, she would be able to tell like 3-4 steps ahead what they were planning to do next just by reading their body language. Well, of course, being the piss poor writers that they were at the time, they didn't know that they had lightning in a bottle, and gave Cassandra Cain her voice back because writers don't know how to write mute people. So, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Okay.
Or did I steal your thunder?
No, okay, look, when I was watching the movie, I totally forgot about her character. I didn't even know who she was until I got home and was looking up, and I forgot to tell you about all that, but I was looking up, like, the characters and stuff like that. And then when they went into detail of Cassandra Cain, I was like, that's her? And I was so angry because I was like, that would be such a badass character. Because, look, okay, yeah, she's mute, she's an assassin, all that stuff, but she trained with Batman, right? Is that how it went in the comic books?
She trained with her father, who was a member of the League of Assassins, and Batman wound up with her.
Yeah, well, anyway, that, but she also ran around with Batman wearing like you couldn't see her face. It was all black, like a black hoodie, kind of like Batman, but no face. And that's so awesome. And they could have done so much with that, and they didn't. And I was so mad because I forgot about that character, and then watched this movie, and I was like, no, I'm disappointed in that part.
If you would like to see what we're talking about as far as Cassandra Cain and Batgirl,
it was a cool character.
Go visit one of our unsponsors. Okay, we get paid nothing for this. Go down to Scott's Comic Relief at 420 East Main, Sweetie, and ask him to order you Batgirl, the Cassandra Cain Batgirl. He'll know what you're talking about. You want the first appearance of her. Okay, I couldn't even tell you what the title of it is, but you want the Cassandra Cain Batgirl. You want to start with Volume 1 and then maybe Volume 2. After that, it falls apart fast. But those first two were an incredible concept, well executed, and then just trips all over itself as you literally watch the writer destroy himself trying to figure out how to get this character to communicate, because he doesn't think the artist would be capable of handling it. This is what happens in comic books. In comic books, you got to understand, you got two storytellers. You got two storytellers cooperating with each other. You've got the writer, the guy who comes up with the words. You have the artist, the person who comes up with the art. Both of them are communicating and telling a story. They have to work together or the story is ineffective.
I actually had a story of that.
Uh-huh.
My own story, my own version of the story. Like, what if Bruce Wayne, when he was in with the League of Shadows, he became friends, kind of romantically involved with one of the women that worked there, okay? And she helps him kind of escape from the League of Shadows as well, you know? And then, years later, it turns out he has a kid, and that is Cassandra Cain. And then, like, her mom dies, and she ends up deciding to go and find about her father, and then, even though she's already like a badass, finds her father, finds out that he's Batman, and says, you know what, I can do this too.
Should you tell him? You want to tell him or I'll tell him? You want to tell? I'll take care of this.
Is that really part of the story?
Damian Wayne. Talia al Ghul is Ra's al Ghul's daughter. She's part of the League of Shadows. She's involved in the League of Assassins, which is different from the League of Shadows. But she did secretly have a son with Batman, which is what Ra's al Ghul always wanted, and she trained him up to be an assassin, and then Batman found out and took him away from that, and Damian Wayne's been an arrogant little asshole ever since.
Yeah, I don't care
That's
about
the
him.
new Robin, yeah.
I don't care about him.
But that's, yes. So that's where the Super Sons came from, half of them anyway. Superman did his version a lot better of Super Sons than Batman's was. But although I think a lot of people consider Robin annoying. But
Robin was annoying. Unless they would do it right, but I mean, he's a teenage kid, so he's going to be annoying no matter what.
I think Dick Grayson was the good one.
Yeah. We went off track with Birds of Prey, didn't we?
So, fun. Birds of Prey, yeah, watch it, but don't go spending full price on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
go watch it. It's pretty good. It's good. It's good. I like it.